Every second video on my Instagram feed is about like these crazy things that are happening, and it's starting to give me fear. It's starting to give me anxiety because, again, I can't do anything about it. I can't go outside and start changing what's happening in America. What's often true in our physical lives is most often true in our spiritual life. What's true in the physical realm that we live in is a lot of the times it's true on the other side in our spiritual life. We can often become like a spiritual hoarder or a mental hoarder, or we hoard things in our soul. We hoard things in our mental spaces. And I was thinking about this, and it's not always bad things that we hold on to. It doesn't always have to be something that hinders us, right? And I was thinking about this, like I always do this, like I keep the Allen keys of the IKEA furniture, and we have like 50,000 Allen keys in our house, and they're all in different drawers, and they're all disorganized. It's like, I go to my wife, I'm like, I need an Allen key, and I can't find the Allen keys. Like, look in like the other thousands of places that you put the Allen keys, right? Like, an Allen key can be practical and useful and awesome, but if you have a ton of them, it's just like overcrowded space. It's not gonna be helpful for me, and I'm not gonna find it when I need it, right? And it's the same thing when we go through seasons of life. Sometimes God will bring you through a season, and he'll kind of like carry these things with you, and you'll hold on to these things. We talked about in Bible school, whenever they would talk about like things for marriage, they tell us, hey, put this thing on the shelf. You know, you might use it later. And those things that we carry on in our life, they're not necessarily bad things. They can be useful things, but we'll go through seasons where God wants to give us something new. And if we're just holding on to those things, how can we get something new? Right? We won't have the space. I won't have any space for any more Allen keys in my house, right? If someone wants to give me one that's like all on the same one and actually useful, right? The same thing, God wants to give us different things in different seasons, but if we hold on to the thing from the last season and we're not like open with our hands, we won't have room to take it, right? We won't have room to accept it. So we'll go through seasons, we'll pick things up, not necessarily bad things all the time, but we have to be willing to have open hands and be willing to let go and purge things that we don't need anymore. You guys with me? On the flip side, there are things that we have in our life that we don't like to let go of, right? Everyone's kind of shaking their head, right? They know the things, you know the things. An old way of thinking. Right? I think this way. I don't want to change. I don't like change. This is how I process things. And it could be an old way of thinking or an old methodology, the way that you do something. A lot of us don't like and love change all the time. Some of us are all for it, but I would say a majority of us like the steady Eddie, right? We have a methodology of doing something, and we don't want to change our way of doing something, even if it's inefficient, or there could be a lifestyle that we haven't fully let go of. Because we like that lifestyle. We like it outside of our Christian bubble, or we like how it makes us feel. We like how important it makes us. And we have these lifestyles maybe that we have to let go of, or maybe the way we talk. Maybe for you are really negative about yourself. You have negative self-talk towards yourself. I think that it's easy to say that we're all our own worst enemies, right? We all look in the mirror. We all see the things that we don't like. And I think that maybe for you today, that's a way that you talk or a way that you think. Maybe it could be a friend's circle that you know is not right for you in this season, right? We all have things we don't like to let go of. And we tend to bring along with us in our life thinking it's going to be beneficial for us, because like we don't want to lose those friends. We don't want to feel lonely for a season, right? So we just drag them along with our life, even though they're the ones dragging us down. And I think some of us, and this is something that I was thinking of, and I say some of us by pointing the finger at me, being consumed by what's going on in the world. I was thinking about this. It's not a sin to be informed. It's not a sin to be informed. But what happens is, and this is what happened to me, and I'll tell on myself, like these last couple of weeks, all the stuff coming out in our media and all these crazy, audacious like things coming out, all the wars and rumors of wars kind of going on in the world. And I'm thinking about these things, and I'm just allowing myself to consume media on it and just consume things. Like every second video on my Instagram feed is about like these crazy things that are happening, and it's starting to give me fear. fear. It's starting to give me anxiety because, again, I can't do anything about it. Right? Like, I can't go outside and start changing what's happening in America. Right? Like, I can't go and change things that are happening overseas. I can only change what's in front of me, immediate, day to day. But what happens is we get so consumed and we're just like, we just want to be, we tell ourselves, I just got to be informed about this. I want to know about this. But what happens is it's all we end up consuming. And all of a sudden we're left anxious. We're left angry. We're left fearful. And again, we can't do anything about it. I think some of us have allowed ourselves to become distracted with everything that's going on. I'll say this, I literally lost sleep. It was a few weeks ago. And like some of this isn't like necessarily a bad thing. It's good to be prepared. But I was thinking in my head, I was sitting in bed and it was like 2 hours of just thinking. I was like, worst case scenario, if someone broke into my house, right? Like, and they tried to like steal my daughter or something. Like, what would I do? Right? And I'm sitting there thinking about the worst case scenarios and I'm like, how is this healthy for me? Right? It's good to be prepared, like put a shotgun on like your door or something, like have an idea, but like it's not good to dwell on these things because what happens is we just start hoarding those things and hoarding those thoughts and we become negative and cynical and pessimistic and negative about everything. And we're just thinking worst case scenario, worst case scenario, worst case scenario, worst case scenario. I don't know if that's been like for you, but that's literally been the last few weeks for me. I've been talking to Jamin about it. He's like, I just had to get off. I just had to like get off social media. I can't do it because it's just gonna keep flooding in and flooding in and flooding in. And I told our students this a few weeks ago that I don't blame them for, it's like the highest level of anxiety that this next generation deals with. And I don't blame them for feeling that because we were not actually designed to take in that much information, right? We were not designed to take in all the information from everywhere all at once from all over the world. And we have this generation that has phones when they're coming into kindergarten, right? Like grade 1, grade 2, kids have phones now and they're able to access the information. And it's like, you weren't built to have that information. Like you're supposed to be just focusing on your ABCs and like don't hit your sister. like the small little baby steps of like socializing your kids, right? And they're thinking about like what's happening in Israel or happening all across the world. And it's like, you're like 5? How are you processing this information? And they're not. It just turns into this angst, right? And same thing happens for us. Really, if we're honest, we think we're all mature and we think we can handle it, but we can't. We actually physically, mentally, spiritually cannot handle that much information. The world loves to glorify being busy, right? It glorifies this lifestyle of just having like a billion things going on in your life. I don't know if you've asked someone, maybe it was today, you're like, hey, how was your week? And they said, busy. Right? Like that's often what comes out of our mouth when we do have a busy week and it's full and it's like, or maybe you said it this morning, like someone asked you like, yeah, it was busy. And you like start sweating thinking about the week. And the world and the culture around us glorifies this idea of just being busy. Busy, like go. Like have like 10 side hustles off the side of your desk or you're not gonna make it in this economy. Right? Like, and it glorifies this idea of just being busy. And what happens is we become distracted. And when God wants to come and meet you, and God actually wants to come and meet you, and God actually wants to speak to you, and all of a sudden we're standing over here with all this stuff and we're like, we don't have room for God. Because we've just been consuming, thinking about these other things, being overwhelmed, holding on to things, hoarding things in our life. Hoarding things in our mental space, hoarding things in our spirit, hoarding things physically. Our schedule is just go. And all of a sudden God's like knocking on our door and we're like, we don't have time for you. Right? I don't have time to think about this right now. Or it's like you say, oh, I don't really have time to pray. What is our life looking like? Here's the truth. And this might be a hard truth, but it's a good truth. We have to make room in our life intentionally. Just like when you go do spring cleaning, the garbage isn't packing itself up in bags and putting itself in boxes, throwing itself in the car, turning on your car and waving goodbye and driving to the dump, right? Like you have to go and do it. You have to go and purge intentionally. We don't need this. We don't need that. We don't let's get rid of it. My wife's not even looking at it. Just throw it out the door. Right here, catch and throw it in the car and get it out of here. It doesn't drive itself to the dump. You have to go into your spaces and say, what do we need and what do we not need? Right? And I have to intentionally do that. And if I don't, it's just going to be like a hoarder house. I don't know if you've ever been to one of those before. It's terrifying. Right? It's scary. We have to recognize first, is my space cluttered? Is my space too full for God? Is my mental space just firing on all cylinders all the time, thinking about worst case scenarios and what's happening over here and what's Donald Trump doing and all these different things? Am I actually thinking about that? Am I taking a mental inventory of what's going on in my life? Truth is, we need to start cleaning that house, right? We need to steward that house.